middle season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose.
Making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. And so Saturday practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable. The meeting is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this.
These are a reflection of their coach. So if you got guys, plural, that are playing with bad effort, if you got guys, plural, that have bad habits, if you have guys, plural, that are doing all these things that are despicable, look at the man in the mirror. That's you. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen.
The Los Angeles Lakers are imploding, and their first-year head coach, JJ Redick, just delivered one of the most scorching post-game press conferences of the season.
LeBron back, we haven't been as organized offensively, too many random possessions, so.
But here's the thing nobody's talking about. JJ Redick might be the biggest hypocrite in professional basketball right now, and an old video just resurfaced that proves it. Let's set the scene. Christmas Day, the Lakers get absolutely demolished. Austin Reaves goes down with a calf injury at halftime, and the team looks completely lost on both ends of the floor. JJ Redick walks into that press conference looking like a man who just watched his house burn down, and he doesn't hold back.
Yeah, you know, the two words of the day were effort and execution. And, you know, I feel like when we've done both of those things at a high level, we've been a good basketball team. When we haven't, we're a terrible basketball team. And tonight we were a terrible basketball team.
A terrible basketball team. But it gets worse. When pressed about why his team couldn't execute the game plan, things they've supposedly practiced over and over, Redick dropped a bomb that sent shockwaves through the NBA media landscape.
Because we don't care enough right now. And that's the part that bothers you a lot. We don't care enough to do the things that are necessary. We don't care enough to be a professional.
Wait, hold up. Did a first-year head coach just tell the world that his players don't care enough to be professionals? Did he really just throw his entire roster under the bus on national television after a Christmas Day game? Yes, he did. And he wasn't done. Redick continued his tirade, talking about how the team had it before but doesn't have it now. He mentioned that there are specific guys who consistently refuse to make the right choices, and then he dropped this nuclear bomb.
Practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable. The meeting is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this.
Uncomfortable. That's what he promised his players. A practice so uncomfortable that he felt the need to tell the media about it before it even happened. This is where things get interesting, because Emmanuel Acho and the crew on Speak had some thoughts about this approach, and they weren't exactly singing JJ's praises. Acho came out swinging with a perspective that's hard to argue against. If you've got multiple players showing bad effort, if you've got multiple guys with bad habits, if you've got multiple dudes not being professionals, that's not a player problem. That's a coaching problem.
Their coach. So if you got guys, plural, that are playing with bad effort, if you got guys, plural, that have bad habits, if you have guys, plural, that are doing all these things that are despicable, look at the man in the mirror. That's you. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen.
Boom. There it is. The uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to say out loud. JJ Redick spent his entire press conference deflecting blame onto his players, talking about their lack of professionalism, their lack of care, their inability to execute. But where's his accountability? Where's the "I need to coach them better" moment? Where's the "this starts with me" speech that every great coach delivers when things go sideways? It doesn't exist. Instead, we got a coach who sounds more like a substitute teacher complaining about the rowdy classroom than a leader taking responsibility for his team's failures. But here's where the hypocrisy reaches peak levels. There's a resurfaced video making the rounds right now that shows JJ Redick in a completely different light, and it exposes everything wrong with his current approach.
The trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose.
The video isn't from some random moment in his playing career. It's from a coaching perspective. showing exactly what real accountability looks like when things go wrong on the field. And now, the same JJ Redick is doing exactly the same. He's airing his dirty laundry to the media, telling reporters about how uncomfortable Saturday's practice is going to be, talking about specific guys who keep making the wrong choices but never actually naming them. It's the worst of both worlds, public humiliation without the courage to actually call out anyone specifically. This is soft coaching masquerading as tough love, and the basketball world is starting to see through it. Trey made an excellent point during the Speak segment that cuts right to the heart of the matter. If JJ Redick really wanted to send a message, if he really wanted to hold people accountable, he would have put names on it. He would have said LeBron needs to be better defensively, or we need more effort from our stars on both ends. Instead, we got vague references to certain guys who consistently make poor choices.
Don't put a name on it and call out these guys in the media, then don't bring up that you're a terrible team. Save it for the locker room.
That's the problem with JJ Redick's approach. He wants credit for being tough without actually being tough. He wants to look like a no-nonsense coach who demands excellence, but he's not willing to take the heat that comes with that approach. Real accountability means names. Real accountability means looking at yourself first. Real accountability means handling business behind closed doors and presenting a united front to the world. Look at how Phil Jackson coached. When the Bulls or Lakers were struggling, Phil would call out Michael Jordan by name. He'd challenge Kobe directly. He'd sit Shaq down and tell him exactly what needed to change. But he'd also take responsibility when things went wrong. He'd adjust his system. He'd acknowledge his own mistakes. Compare that to what we're seeing from JJ Redick. After a loss, he tells the media his team doesn't care enough to be professional. He announces to the world that Saturday's practice will be uncomfortable. He hints at knowing exactly which players are the problem without ever actually identifying them. This isn't leadership. This is deflection with a tough guy veneer. The most damning part of all this? The Lakers aren't even playing that badly overall. Before this 3-game losing streak, they were the 2 seed in the Western Conference. They've actually improved from last season. LeBron James missed significant time, and the team still stayed competitive. By most objective measures, JJ Redick's first season as a head coach has been solid. So why is he acting like the sky is falling? Why is he delivering these scorched earth press conferences about professionalism and effort when his team is still firmly in the playoff picture? It reeks of someone trying to establish credibility through manufactured toughness rather than earning respect through actual results. The comparison to Will Muschamp's clipboard moment is so revealing because it shows what real, in-the-moment accountability looks like. Muschamp didn't wait to tell reporters how upset he was. He didn't promise the media that Monday's film session would be uncomfortable. He handled his business right there in the locker room with his players in the heat of the moment. That's authentic. That's real. That's what actually creates change. JJ Redick telling the press that Saturday's practice will be uncomfortable, that's performative. That's a coach trying to prove something to the public rather than actually solving problems with his team. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, LeBron James. How do you coach LeBron when everyone knows he's the reason you got hired? How do you hold the king accountable when your entire coaching career depends on keeping him happy? You can't. So instead, you make vague statements about certain players not being professional enough, and you hope that the message gets through without actually having to confront the untouchable superstar on your roster. This is the fundamental problem with JJ Redick's approach. He's trying to be both a player's coach and a disciplinarian. He wants to be the guy who relates to the players because he just retired, but he also wants to be the tough-minded leader who demands excellence. You can't be both, especially not when you got the job through nepotism rather than a proven track record of coaching success. The hypocrisy becomes crystal clear when you contrast his public complaints with what real accountability looks like. Real coaches take the heat. Real coaches say, I need to do better before they say, my players need to do better. Real coaches handle discipline behind closed doors and support their players in public. JJ Redick is doing the exact opposite, and an old video of a truly accountable coach handling business the right way just exposed him for it. Here's the thing that makes this whole situation even more frustrating. JJ Redick isn't wrong about everything. Maybe some Lakers players aren't giving maximum effort. Maybe there are issues with professionalism. Maybe certain guys do need to be called out. But the way he's going about it, the public complaining, the media announcements about uncomfortable practices, the vague finger-pointing without specific names, that's not leadership. That's a substitute teacher losing control of the classroom and running to the principal's office to complain. Basketball is a players' league, and coaches who don't understand that basic truth don't last long. JJ Redick seems to think he can bully his way into respect by making tough-sounding statements to the media. But respect isn't earned through press conferences. It's earned through relationships, through proven results, through taking accountability when things go wrong, and through having the courage to address problems directly rather than hiding behind vague platitudes about professionalism. The old video circulating right now shows what real coaching accountability looks like. It's not pretty, it's not polished, but it's authentic, and it happens where it should happen, in the locker room, not in front of cameras. JJ Redick needs to learn that lesson fast, or his first season as an NBA head coach might also be his last. Because in this league, hypocrisy gets exposed quickly. And right now, JJ Redick's tough guy act is being revealed for exactly what it is: an act.